Alrighty, here we go. We have test review unit 1. So here I am. I'm going to go over every single problem, hopefully answer all the questions you may have on this, but I will try to go at a nice pace so I don't lose y'all too quickly. Anyways, let's get here. Alright, so on the first two problems, we're asked to say, you are tasked with writing an inequality in interval notation and an inequality. Okay, so again, the idea here is focus left and right, and y'all can see on the left, it's stopping at -9, and on the right, you've got an arrow. Okay, so all inequalities, first off, let me go back here. All inequalities start off like this, x between two numbers, all right? So we have to -9 and a closed dot, and we have to positive infinity and an open dot, or arrow, sorry. Because of the arrow, we have this is open. Now take notice for interval notation, you basically do the same thing just without the x. Okay? Remember, infinity has parentheses, closed dots are brackets. You'd have to have an open dot to have a parentheses. Okay? So you see on this next one, please make sure you also check to see that you can read the numbers. If you can't, let me know. But the next one we have, again, notice I'm putting the x first, and we go from -7 to +4. So those are both closed dot, and the interval notation would be -7, comma 4, bracket, bracket. Okay? So that's really pretty much it. I mean, just be careful with the arrows and just be careful with open or closed dots. Okay, so number 3, write the x greater than -3 in interval notation. My recommendation, and draw the inequality, I would draw the inequality first. So like here is 3. Draw closed dot because there's a line underneath, and you can see the arrows pointing left. So that means this is going to negative infinity. So that makes the interval notation a little bit easier, because then you could say negative infinity to +3. Infinity would have a parentheses, the 3 would have a bracket because that's a closed dot because of the line that is underneath there. Alright, so now let's look at the domain and range, and let's talk about set notation, interval notation. Did I not? Oh, I didn't give myself room for both domain and range separately. So I'll do domain like here in green, and then I'll do range in orange or red, one of those colors. Anyways, domain, range. In interval notation, that means you got this x here, and you're kind of going like that. You're going from negative, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, -8 to +4. There's a line underneath because those are both closed dots. Your interval notation would do the same thing, -8. Why am I doing the upside down parentheses? Okay, I had to pause a little bit, so I might be off on what I was saying. Anyways, the interval notation, again, is just taking the same numbers without the the inequality part of it. And then, again, realizing that there are closed dots on both ends, left and right, so you have brackets. Okay, the range again is focused on low and high. It does not have to be looking at here. It focuses here. Okay, so range is the y, and my lowest point is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, -6, and my highest point is at 9. You'd have to see an open dot at these graphs points to be able to say there's an open dot. Otherwise, presume there's a bracket and there's a line underneath. And again, here we go, low, high, like that. Okay. Oh, and there's the bell, because I've been delayed so many times. We'll make that our secret word, by the way. Write bell on the top of your test. Remember that you need to write the word bell on top of your test to get 5 more extra points. That shows that you are listening to this video. Alright, so again, let's remember, domain is left, right. This is something you can put into your note card. Domain, range is low, high. And no matter what, the left number should always be smaller than the right number. Keep that in mind. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. Domain, range. Oh, I was going to do that in a different color. I totally forgot to do that in a different color. So I'll do, well, y'all can see that. Y'all can see red, inside here. Okay, so again, for this one, I prefer something like this. For the range, a Y. Set notation. Okay, so this is going from, and that should have this funky little parentheses, but I'm not going to even worry about that. This is going, ooh, this is one you got to be careful on. Okay, so here we got to the left, so that means it's going to negative infinity. You got a little stopper here at the right at 7, and so it's negative infinity to 7. Now on the range, that's where you got to be careful, because you might say, oh, here's a high, here's a low, but let's keep in mind this arrow is going to keep going forever. So this is also a negative infinity, and it maxes out at 5. So your range is negative infinity to 5. So be careful when you're seeing those arrows and make sure you pay attention to what they're doing. Okay, here is an oval, an ellipse actually, it's called an ellipse. We'll probably won't get to that, but again, here's domain, here's range. Domain here is -8. Dang nab, what is it with me and 8s today? And that should be technically +8. If you're not sure sometimes, because sometimes the computer gets me a little bit wonky, just feel free to ask. And the the interval notation would be -8 to 8 with brackets. The range, it goes to -8 to 0, and you can hear some of the other loud kids because they can't, they got to be, well, they just got to be loud. Closed, closed, and there you go. Okay, so let's look at this type of table. You definitely will have something like this. Here you can see what type of function is this. It's called a square root, so that's what I mean by name. Wow, I can't even fit that in a line. All right, is it a reflection because of the negative in front? Yes. Is it a compression or stretch? Because of the 1/3, that number is, remember, less than between 0 and 1 is a compression. Greater than 1 is a stretch. That's between 0 and 1, so that's a compression by 1/3, obviously. My handwriting's horrible sometimes, well, more times than often, but anyways. Horizontal shift left and right, you'd have to have a number inside the parentheses, so that doesn't happen. Up, down, we go up 5 because an up is a plus, a down would be a minus. Remember, on the horizontal shifts, a left, left means we had a plus, a right means we had a minus. So a minus makes us go to the right, a plus makes us go to the left. The final function, okay, so basically I'm putting this square root of x in place of the f of x. So I'm saying -1/3 square root of x plus 5. Notice all I did was kind of substitute the square root of x in place of the f of x. You can put the f of x in front, I don't mind, but there you go. Okay, so number 8, trying to get through this a little quicker. These are called cubic, when we see a cube roof thing. Transformation, we can see here, is this a reflection? No, there's no negative in front. Compression or stretch, there's a stretch because the number 4 right here would make it a stretch. The -3 would go right 3. The +2 would go up 2. How do I change this? I would do this, okay? Start off like this, cube. Okay, so keep in mind if there's a minus or parentheses, and all you got to do is go 4 minus 3 plus 2. So kind of keep in mind that if you see anything in parentheses, that will go, like, you're not putting this x cubed like here, you are putting like 3 here to make it x cubed. Okay? It's a little bit harder with those horizontal shifts, but you kind of get the idea. Alright, so now from the words. Okay, so what I would do, identify the function. So, and then you would write it, but like give yourself some space, so in case there's horizontal shifts or anything like that. Reflection means put a negative. Compression 3/5 means put the 3/5 here in front. Shift right, that's a -4. That's the one you're going to have to be careful of. down 6, minus 6. F of x in front, and there you go. Rational, that's 1 over x. Now, a lot of times some of y'all ask why wasn't there a parentheses here? Because there's an implied, but you can put it there in case you want to. Vertical stretch 4, put that in the front. Horizontal left 2 plus 2, up 5, and you're done pretty much with that. Okay, so you can kind of see, I write the function first and kind of go from there. Log, I'm not going to worry about I know it says on the paper log b of x, but we can just put just x. And again, I'm going to put a parentheses just in case. Reflection, negative. Stretch, 2. Left, 1. Plus 1. Up, 2. Plus 2. So notice I went in order. Reflection, stretch or compression, left or right, up or down. Number 12. What family does this belong to? That's the absolute value. Let's see here. Transformations. You have a reflection. So notice here, I'm just asking you to identify the transformations. And then you had to go left. You can put there left 3. And then up 7. Okay. The domain, because you see arrows on the ends, that would be negative infinity to infinity. I don't care which method you use to show off here. And then the range, you can see the low, it's going down, so that's a negative infinity. The high maxes out right here at 7, and that's a bracket. Okay, so it's not too hard. Again, left, right, low, high, keep that in mind. Here we can see this is quadratic. And then you can see here it goes left 1 and then down 6. Left 1, down 6. I'm not going to worry about stretch or compression on these. I'm just mainly making sure y'all can see those horizontal, like a reflection, and then left, right, up, down. Okay, the domain here, again, you look at the left and the right, you've got arrows on the ends, so that would be negative infinity to positive infinity. And then the range, you've got, say, a bottom here, negative 6. And then, but it's going to go up. You can see here at the top, you got these up arrows, so that's going to infinity. And again, brackets with that. So that's pretty much what we should be looking at. Again, make things for your note card and kind of go from there. And that's really about it. If y'all have any questions, make sure to ask either before class or try to find me ahead of time, or even send me maybe a quick note through Google Classroom. Hopefully I'll be able to see it and answer it, okay? Anyways, thank y'all very much for your time, and y'all take care. Good luck on this test.